So I am heading on a 3-day silent meditation retreat. No talking, no phones, no books, no reading, no writing, no distractions, just silence. This actually isn't my first time going on this retreat. It's my first time doing a 3-day, but in 2019, I actually did a 10-day retreat. By the way, I'm packing right now. We have to bring long sleeve, long pants, clothing, flowy, nothing tight, nothing super patterned, no big letters or writing, nothing distracting. And I actually realized I don't have that, like all my flowy clothing is on the West Coast. I usually like to wear my linen flowy pants. Oh, you know what? I do have a button-down shirt I could wear. Because I also don't want to overheat. I like to have blankets on me when I'm meditating. Anyway, I digress. So I'm bringing this long sleeve, cozy shirt. Anyway, the first time I did this retreat was in 2019, and it was a 10-day, and I've been struggling with my mental health for a long time. It really comes in waves. And in 2019, I was going through an especially difficult time. I hadn't yet realized that I had PMDD. And so I was just on the struggle bus. I thought I was just gonna be depressed forever. And my partner suggested that I go on this 10-day silent meditation retreat with him. And I said yes. I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll try anything at this point. What is this? Oh, I guess I didn't finish unpacking my bag for my last trip. Anywho, so I went with him, and by that point, I had tried so many different forms of meditation. I listened to guided meditations and just a whole bunch of different things. Eye mask. Deodorant. They also don't want you to bring anything super fragranced, which is amazing because I cannot stand strong smells, especially like super floral, sweet things, especially since chemo. It really just intensified everything. So deodorant. Where was I? And so I said yes, because I was willing to try anything by that point. And it's Vipassana meditation, and it's the only kind of meditation that actually works for me. My little travel stuffy. When I went on this meditation the first time, the first few days, I'd say like the first 3 or 4 days, were so difficult because at this point I had not practiced this type of meditation. I didn't know what to expect. And when he first told me about it, I had assumed that I would at least be able to bring a book or a journal. I was like, 10 days no phone, that's fine. I'll just read. And no, you can't read, you can't journal, you can't exercise. And you get, if I recall correctly, it's vegetarian and you only get 2 meals a day. I'm pretty sure that's right. This was a few years ago. But anyway, you have hour-long meditations. I'll be able to explain this a little better after I get a refresher on it, but my retainer. But yeah, it was really intense. And so he reminded me, when I was talking to him about this upcoming trip, he reminded me that I would just walk. I would walk during any chance I got, like in circles around. There's this little courtyard area, and I would just be lapping, doing laps and trying to keep myself busy because I kind of felt like I was going insane, you know? But afterwards, and after the first few days of adjustment, I really just settled in and surrendered to the experience. And then it actually became really incredible. And I found a deep peace within myself. And so by the end, the last day, I didn't even want to touch my phone when we got our phones back. I was like, I'm good, no devices ever. But I had to check in with my family and let everyone know that I was alive and okay and it wasn't a cult thing. Yeah, so I mentioned in my last video that I've really been struggling with my mental health, and last month there was a night where I was just crying. I was doing really badly, and in the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep and I couldn't shut my brain off, and I kept thinking, and finally I've been out of therapy for about a year, or I had been at that point, and I really needed to get back into therapy. And so I was looking up therapists, I was looking up psychiatrists, I was researching medication and what that would do for me and PMDD, because at this point I was ready to try everything. I've done all the natural remedies, and I needed help. I needed something more. And on that same night, I remembered how much peace this retreat had brought me. So I looked up dates for the retreats, and this specific 3-day retreat was full, and there was nothing available until the summer. And I decided to sign up anyway, and I ended up getting an email that I was accepted. And I'm very grateful for that. So here we go. I don't know if this is gonna be too patterned, but I'm just bringing an extra outfit just in case, but I'm likely just gonna be wearing my gray sweatpants and that other shirt the whole time. Yeah, I got my retainer, I got some lotion, I got my meds, earplugs. They told me to bring an alarm clock because we hand our phones in at the beginning. So I need to go get an alarm clock today. I don't have one, I just have my phone and my watch. That is something to do. All right.
Don't start yet.
Oh, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna make sure everyone sees you naked.
Dick, that ain't right.
Okay. All right, so I have to repack because I realized yesterday that I tend to overheat, and the meditation room is somewhat heated. And after chemo, I get a lot of hot flashes, so I ended up going to TJ Maxx and getting some loose, lightweight clothing. This isn't linen, I don't think, but these pants are linen, and that's what I usually meditate in. And so now I have an East Coast outfit, but yeah, now I have to repack. And I also realized that I had to get twin-sized bed sheets and a blanket because my blankets all have patterns and words on them, and they specifically asked that we don't bring anything with patterns or letters or words, so I also got a blanket. So here we go. Time to repack. I still am gonna bring the sweatpants though to sleep in, just in case I get cold. I don't know, you never know. The weather is unpredictable this time of year. And then still bringing, this does have a little logo on it, but it's just a mountain, so I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. And it's not a bright color or pattern or anything. Then we got the linen pants. Should I pack it on this side? I don't know, whatever. Then we got the easy breezy, long, lightweight top. We got some light colored underwear, so because the pants are somewhat see-through. Socks. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Oh, we also have to bring our own COVID test for when we arrive. Let's see, that fits nicely. Retainer, deodorant, meds. You're allowed to continue taking, my earplugs, eye mask. You're allowed to continue taking your prescription meds, but they ask that you do not bring or take supplements. Okay. Bringing my own baby wipes just in case. my toothbrush. Almost forgot my toothbrush. That would have been bad. I packed my toothpaste already. That was like the first thing I packed because I always forget my toothpaste. But I need the toothbrush. Okay. Oh. Skincare. I'm feeling a little frazzled and nervous. I also hurt my back this morning in yoga because I didn't carefully exit a pose. I kind of just dropped myself out of it, and then I felt my back kind of tweak. So that's fun. I think this is probably fine. Maybe this should be in that bag for easy access when I arrive. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, and this bag is packed. Yeah, I am feeling a little bit nervous. But yeah, that's also why I'm packing my bag on my bed. I wouldn't normally put my rolling suitcase on the bed, but I can't really bend over right now. All right, then we have to pack my COVID test. Okay. I picked up some cooling sheets, twin sized. Then also got this fuzzy, comfy blanket. I will probably use this to sleep, but I also bring it to the meditation room because it's nice to wrap myself in something. A towel. And, oh, my little travel teddy. And I think that's it. I'm not allowed to bring a journal. Ooh, but maybe I'll bring a journal and leave it in the car. Ugh. Oh my God, my back. So then afterwards, I can write about my thoughts and experience. I like that plan. It's a good idea. Okay, we'll do that. Just have to remember to take this out of my bag before I go inside. Maybe some slippers. Slippers. A headband. This is actually Donnie's, but I'm gonna bring it. Nothing. Nothing. No. Alrighties. I don't want my slippers to touch anything else in the bag, so put it in another bag and just slide them in. And I'm ready to rumble, and I'm actually, wow, that was really fast. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I know for a fact that's everything. That's crazy. But yeah, I guess that's it. Time to, I don't know, hang upside down and fix my back, I guess. Oh, no. Ugh. I wanted to show you my cushion. This is my purple cushion. I ended up getting the ultimate cushion because it's a little bit wider and it has a little divot. You can't see anything, but it just, oh, it feels really good on my back. It's just so supportive. Anyway, okay, time to go. Alrighties. Wow, my camera's so dirty. Here we go. Oh my God, why is it so dirty? Oy vey. Here we go. I'm really nervous, but it'll be fine. It's an hour away. I have slightly less than half a tank, which I think is fine. Yeah, I feel really nervous. I stretched out my back and hung out upside down for a little bit. I repacked this morning since I realized I would probably be having hot flashes. I always wear loose linen clothing when I meditate, and just attempting to do it in a sweatpants and sweatshirt for 3 days straight was just not a good idea. So now I have an East Coast meditation outfit, which is fine. And yeah, it's wild to me that I can't even bring a journal inside to journal about my experience, but that's okay. I'm bringing it, and I have it in the car so that I can write down reflections afterwards on Sunday. But as soon as I get there, I have to take a COVID test, hand in my phone. I have everything, right? Yeah. But it'll be okay. This is going to be really good, and it's going to be challenging, but it's going to be really good for me. Just continuing to learn how to surrender and just be present, and to not hold attachments to anything, no attachments to any certain outcome. I need to check my map. Okay, bye. Actually, I know where I'm going. Yeah, to not hold any attachments to outcomes or any situations. It'll be nice to not be on social media or just go inward. Alrighty, we listen to music. Bye. Okay, I just got here. It's time to register and surrender my phone and be at peace with myself for 3 days, or try my best to. See you on the other side. I'm currently on a post-lunch walk. I'm back home, and that is something I implemented while I was at the retreat. Every time I would eat, I would go on a walk afterwards. And I used to do this, and now I'm gonna start integrating it into my life again now that I've left the retreat. But it's something so small and so simple that really benefits not only my physical health, but my mental health. So, day 1 back from the retreat, going on my little post-lunch walk. I'm back from my 3-day... I'm back from my 3-day silent meditation retreat, and it was a lot more difficult than I remember it being. The last time I did it was in 2019, and it was a 10-day silent meditation retreat. You can meditate, you can rest, you get 2 full meals a day, and if you're an old student like I am, you only have tea at 5 o'clock, and that's it, no dinner. And that was fine. All of that's fine. No speaking's fine. No phones, no devices, all of that was fine, but not being able to read or journal or properly exercise besides walking around was really, really hard for me. And the morning that I was leaving for the retreat, I decided to do a hot yoga class, and I usually don't go in the morning, but I decided to go to loosen up my body and prepare it for so many hours of meditating, which, by the way, I did the math. I will show the picture I took when I got there. We meditate for 11 hours a day, essentially, with little 10-minute breaks in between. Yeah, so morning of, I went to a hot yoga class and hurt my back because I fell out of a pose rather than slowly release myself out of the pose. So I plopped down and just, oop, I felt it go. And I have a herniated disc and it got aggravated. And so that was a bummer, and that made sitting very difficult. I ended up with so many cushions and finally a backrest. You can ask for a chair if you need one, and they'll accommodate that. There were people using chairs, there were people using backrests. I even tried the kneeling thing, and yeah, ultimately I ended up with a backrest with many different cushions, including the one I brought. But yeah, essentially we are meditating for 11 hours a day. So let me read you the schedule, and I will put the photo up there. 4 a.m. morning wake up bell. 4:30 to 6:30 a.m. meditate in the hall, the meditation hall, or in your own room. 6:30 to 8 a.m. breakfast break. And at this point, they have oatmeal, cereal. We're pretty much eating a vegetarian diet. Fruit, there's tea. The first morning I had oatmeal, but it wasn't really doing it for me, and then I saw the rice cakes and I put peanut butter all over 2 rice cakes and then cut up a banana, put sunflower seeds and sprinkled flaxseed, put honey and cinnamon, and perfect. Anyway, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. group meditation in the hall. 9 to 11 a.m. meditate in the hall or in your room according to the teacher's instructions. 11 to 12 noon, lunch break, and there are different lunches per day. The first day we had taco vibes with 2 different types of shell wraps, and the second day we had dal, which was really good, and there was rice, quinoa. There's always salad, like a salad bar, which so good. And then the third day was my favorite. There was mac and cheese, vegan mac and cheese, tomato bisque soup, salad, cookies, oatmeal raisin cookies. Anyway, 12 to 1 p.m., rest and interviews with the teacher. And the interviews are basically like you can go to the meditation teacher, you sign up for an interview, and you can ask them whatever questions you have about your practice and meditating and whatnot, and it's really useful. 1 to 2:30 p.m., meditate in the hall or in your room. 2:30 to 3:30, group meditation in the hall. 3:30 to 5, meditate in the hall or in your room according to the teacher's instructions. 5 to 6 p.m., tea break. 6 to 7, group meditation in the hall. 7 to 8:15, teacher's discourse in the hall. 8:15 to 9 p.m., group meditation in the hall. 9 to 9:30, question time in the hall. 9:30, retire to your room, lights out by 10. And that is every day. So, what do I want to tell you about first? Because my favorite part of every day was about the discourse. I mean, I could read this to you. This is the Introduction to Vipassana Meditation as taught by S.N. Goenka in the tradition of Sayagyi Yubakin. The technique of Vipassana meditation is a simple, practical way to achieve real peace of mind and lead a happy, useful life. Vipassana means to see things as they really are. It is a logical process of mental refinement through self-observation. From time to time, we all experience agitation, frustration, and disharmony. When we suffer, we do not keep our misery limited to ourselves. Instead, we keep distributing it to others. Certainly, this is not a proper way to live. We all long to live at peace within ourselves and with those around us. After all, human beings are social beings. We have to live and interact with others. How, then, can we live peacefully? How can we remain harmonious ourselves and maintain peace and harmony around us? Vipassana enables us to experience inner peace. It purifies the mind, freeing it from suffering and the deep-seated causes of suffering. The practice leads step by step to the highest spiritual goal of full liberation from all our mental defilements. And I will explain more about the practice because I know that may sound intense. Historical background. Vipassana is one of India's most ancient meditation techniques. It was rediscovered 2,500 years ago by Gautama the Buddha and is the essence of what he practiced and taught during his 45 years of teaching. During the Buddha's time, large numbers of people in India were freed from the bonds of suffering by practicing Vipassana, allowing them to attain high levels of achievement in all spheres of life. Over time, the technique spread to the neighboring countries of Burma, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and others where it had the same ennobling effect. 5 centuries after the Buddha, the noble heritage of Vipassana had disappeared from India. The purity of the teaching was lost elsewhere as well. In the country of Burma, however, it was preserved by a chain of devoted teachers. From generation to generation, for over 2,000 years, this dedicated lineage transmitted the technique in its purest form. The invaluable gem of Vipassana, long preserved in Burma, is now being practiced throughout the world. Today, ever-increasing numbers of people have the opportunity to learn this art of living. And now about Goenka. In our time, Vipassana has been reintroduced by Mr. S.N. Goenka. He was authorized to teach Vipassana by the renowned Burmese Vipassana teacher, Sayagyi U Bakin. Before he died in 1971, U Bakin was able to see one of his most cherished dreams realized. He had the strong wish that Vipassana should return to India, the land of its origin, to help the country come out of its manifold problems. He felt sure it would then spread from India throughout the world for the benefit of all mankind. S.N. Goenka started teaching Vipassana meditation in India in 1969. A decade later, he began to conduct 10-day courses, ultimately totaling nearly 500 in all, in other countries as well. Nowadays, more than 1,000 assistant teachers trained by Mr. Goenka conduct courses in countries all over the world. Well over 100 centers have been established dedicated to the practice of Vipassana, where about 100,000 people annually attend retreats. Mr. Goenka has been a guest speaker at such distinguished forums as the World Millennium Peace Summit at the UN and the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. He teaches and embodies a consistent message. Lasting happiness is only achieved by purification of mind. The practice. To learn Vipassana meditation, it is necessary to take a 10-day residential course under the guidance of a qualified teacher. 10 days of sustained practice have been found to be the minimum amount of time in which the essentials of the technique can be learned for Vipassana to be applied in daily life. For the duration of the retreat, students remain within the course site, have no contact with the outside world. They refrain from reading and writing and suspend any religious practices or other disciplines. They follow a demanding daily schedule, which includes about 10 hours of sitting meditation, with many breaks interspersed throughout the day. They also observe silence, not communicating with fellow students. They may speak, however, with the teachers whenever necessary, and they may contact the staff with needs related to food, health, and such. There are 3 steps to the training. First, students practice avoiding actions which cause harm. During the course, they undertake 5 moral precepts, Shila, agreeing to abstain from killing living beings, stealing, speaking falsely, all sexual activity, and the use of intoxicants. This simple code of moral conduct, along with the maintaining silence, serves to calm the mind which otherwise would be too agitated to perform the task of self-observation. The second step is to develop a more stable and concentrated mind by learning to fix one's attention on the natural reality of the ever-changing flow of the breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. And this is called Anapana. By the 4th day, the mind is calmer and more focused, better able to undertake the 3rd step, the practice of Vipassana itself, the observation of sensations throughout the body, the experiential understanding of their changing nature, and the development of a balanced mind by learning not to react to them. One experiences the universal truths of impermanence, suffering, and egolessness, and this is called Dhamma. Dhamma is the ultimate truth. This truth realization by directing experience is the process of purification. The entire practice is actually a mental training. Just as physical exercises are used to improve bodily health, Vipassana can be used to develop a healthy mind. Students receive systematic meditation instructions several times a day, and each day's progress is explained during a video evening discourse by Mr. Goenka. Complete silence is observed for the first 9 days. On the 10th day, students learn to practice metta, loving kindness meditation, and they resume speaking as a transition back to their ordinary way of life. The course concludes on the morning of the 11th day, or for me on this most recent one, the 4th day. I'll read this last piece. A non-sectarian technique, which Goenka, in the recording we would listen to in the evening discourse, he specifically says that it's a non-sectarian technique. It's not religious. No one is converting to anything. We're not joining a cult, which some people I know, especially since I decided to wear an all-white outfit, it's not a cult. It is a way of existing and learning to train your mind. Anyway, a non-sectarian technique. Although Vipassana has been reserved in the Buddhist tradition, it can be accepted and applied by people of any background. The Buddha himself taught Dhamma, the way, the truth, the path, the ultimate truth. The technique works on the basis that all human beings share the same problems and that a pragmatic method which can eradicate these problems can be universally practiced. Moreover, it involves no dependence on a teacher. Vipassana teaches those who practice it to be self-dependent. Vipassana courses are open to anyone sincerely wishing to learn the technique, irrespective of faith, race, or nationality. Christians, Jews, Hindus, Jains, Muslims, Sikhs, Buddhists, and members of other religions, monks, priests, and nuns, as well as householders, have all successfully practiced Vipassana. The malady is universal. Therefore, the remedy must be universal. For example, when we experience anger, this anger is not Christian anger or Hindu anger, Chinese anger or American anger. Similarly, love and compassion are not the strict province of any community or creed. They are universal human qualities resulting from purity of mind. People from all backgrounds who practice Vipassana find that they become better human beings, which I believe is true. There were so many different people of different ages and races and religious beliefs or no religious beliefs at all, and it's really beautiful and powerful to see everyone coming together to work on themselves. And so I'll explain a little bit about, so that was more geared towards the 10-day course, but the 3-day course, honestly though, I find the 10-day course more beneficial. I feel like in the 10-day course, by the 3rd day, I was starting to really move out of how difficult it was, but it was difficult the entire time. And in hindsight, I kind of erased all that because in my head I was like, oh my God, it was so amazing. I'm going to do one every year. That's how I remember it now. But now that I actually did the course, literally the first day, I was like, how did I do 10 days of this? This is wild. And I feel like the no speaking, the no phones, no devices, all of that's fine, but like not having a book, not being able to journal my feelings, really just being with myself. Also, I've never napped so much in my entire life. In between the meditations and solo meditations, I fell asleep. My back was hurting so much that I would have to lay down in between meditations just to rest in my room, and I would pass out. But yeah, I don't know how I managed the 10-day because the 3-day was really hard. I struggled a lot the first day. I was really distracted. So the first day we practiced Anapana, which is observation of the breath. Basically, you're just focusing on your respiration, on the inhale, the exhale, on the space between your nose and your upper lip, on whatever sensations are happening, on is the breath hot, is it cold, is it itchy, anything, just like focusing here. And when your thoughts wander, you bring it back to the breath. And this is kind of honing your ability to focus. So that's the first day. And then the second day we practice actual Vipassana, which is observation of the body and whatever sensations you're feeling. And so basically you're scanning from head down to your feet, all the way back to your head, limb by limb. And for example, my sensations had a lot to do with my back pain and my sciatic nerve and just like the pulsing and being aware of that. And the goal is to not fidget, not readjust, and to just accept that that is your reality and breathe through it and observe, and maybe the pain goes away, which for me, it ended up kind of dissipating once I fully surrendered to this process. And sometimes it doesn't go away. But like maybe there was an itchy spot on my arm. Don't scratch it, observe it, and it does go away. And so that's kind of the process of Vipassana, and just remaining equanimous with your body and the sensations and the feelings you're having, and not feeling aversion to one feeling and craving for a more pleasant feeling, and to just remain equanimous and accept and be present. And once again, if your thoughts wander, take a few breaths, bring it back here, continue the body scanning. And the goal of this, as far as I understand it, is that Goenka explains this all way better. You should definitely go watch a video of him speaking. I'm pretty sure there are videos of that online. But it's to get to the root of reactions, because it starts within the body. When you're feeling anxious or angry or even happy, but more so the negative feelings, there's a sensation in the body, even if you're not aware of it. And the goal of Vipassana is to not react to any of these things and allow it to dissipate, allow it to just be. And so this will hopefully integrate into your life with continued practice. I have big feelings sometimes, negative feelings sometimes, depending on the time of month it is for me. And this helps me to slow down and to calm down and to not react as quickly. Loud sounds bother me, and being in a room with other meditators who are fidgeting and moving and sounds are happening, it was really hard for me that first day to just be with myself and not allow everyone else to distract me. But once I really leaned in and surrendered and focused on myself, that all kind of melts away, which is a good practice for real life, because you're never going to be all alone in real life. There are things happening all around us all the time. And so I find it really helpful. I find it really challenging to do the courses, but they are so useful, and I'm very grateful that this exists. And the most incredible part is that it is free. It is absolutely free and donor-based, and they don't accept money from new students. You have to have gone through a course to be able to donate. And this time I actually had the ability to donate, so I donated a little bit of money to give back. But it is all donation-based. It's run by old students. The one I went to in Delaware, in Claymont, Delaware, this plot of land was bought 2013, I want to say. I could be wrong. But 2013 or something, around that time, by old students to create a new facility for people to practice and to bring this practice to as many people as possible. So it's all really cool. And yeah, I had a difficult time, but ultimately I see the benefit. And I definitely, even though I know it's going to be so much harder than the 3-day, I do want to go back and do a 10-day. I just think it's really funny that I didn't remember the 10-day being hard until I was in the first day of the 3-day. I'm like, girl, you're wild for that. So yeah. And now, my mistake the first time was, and this is something I'm aware of that I do, that I've been working on, something will be really good for me, and it'll help my mental health, and I'll practice it often, and then I'll feel like I'm in a good space and kind of fall off of the good things that helped me get to that space. And then I'll start a decline, and that's kind of what happened. And then I'll try to pick it up, but I'll only do 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and it's not consistent. And so I'm not going to start with an hour every morning and every evening, but I did start with half an hour. So I did a half hour last night when I got home. I did a half hour today, even though it wasn't right when I woke up, and I'll do another half hour tonight. And it's really nice to do before bed, a nice wind down. I was in bed, lights out, candles on, and finished meditating by 9:30. Which is awesome. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I really appreciate this practice. I appreciate my partner for introducing me to it. And I am grateful for the opportunity to share it with others. I think it can only do good in the world. It could only have positive benefits for people. You can't go wrong. What else? I don't know. I feel more level-headed, more clear-headed. I don't feel as anxious and pressed to constantly be productive. We live in such a fast-paced society, and it's really good to slow down and to allow myself the time and the headspace to slow down without feeling guilty or anxious about it. I feel like going to a place like this and putting yourself in a situation where all of that is removed and none of that matters, I feel like that is really life-changing. I think it's really amazing. I'll put all the information for you to check out in the description, and I think this really is for everyone, and I think it could benefit anyone, especially if you're struggling with your mental health, but even if you aren't, or I don't know, it could benefit everyone. I think everyone should practice it. I think the world would be a better place, honestly, but yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Hopefully I could go on a 10-day one this year. If not, I think I am gonna try to make an effort to do one every year, whether it's a 10-day or a 3-day, but I'm also gonna really try to stay consistent with my practice this time because it's really good for me. Bye.